Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. It's Tuesday and the patch notes for patch 8.3 have been posted, and that means it's time for another patch note rundown. As always, I'll be going through the biggest changes in this week's patch and telling you guys what you can be looking forward to in the coming weeks. Patch 8.3 has a few buffs for some unloved champions that have been out of the spotlight for a while, and is also targeting some generalists that are being nerfed for just being too darn good at everything. We also have the Swain rework to look forward to in this patch. He looks like he's going to be a lot of fun to play, if particularly complicated to play, and I'm looking forward to spamming the hell out of him in my upcoming games and figuring out how the new Grand General works. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start breaking down the balance changes, first starting with champions as usual. Azir is being nerfed in this patch. He is way too strong in the lane early on and can just poke down enemy laners or wave clear without any problems whatsoever. So his Q cooldown is being increased at early ranks, and his W soldier attacks will now draw minion aggro, which is a really big change, and it means that Azir can't just Q auto attack you forever. Katarina is being nerfed in this patch as well. Her high base damages allow her to stay relevant even after she loses lane, which is a bit of a problem because you can't even shut her down. So her veracity dagger damage is being reduced at all ranks in order to make it so that she needs to either snowball or roam or do something in order to be relevant after laning phase. Kog'Maw is being nerfed in this patch as well. He is spiking way too hard for late game carry. He only really needs one item, and he's late game carry. So he needs some kind of nerf, and Riot are nerfing him to compensate. His W's max health damage has been reduced, so he has to rely more on items as opposed to his pretty absurd base damages on the W. Lucian is being buffed in this patch. Riot are trying to make him relevant again without overly buffing his mid lane performance, so they're buffing him in a couple of ways that should emphasize his bottom lane contributions. His Q's mana cost is down, and his E's based... Oh, sorry, looking at the wrong part. His passive second shot damage is up at later ranks, and his second shot's crit damage is up as well. So Lucian will be doing more damage on that double tap and is more incentivized to build crit, which is completely reverse to what he builds in the mid lane. Master Yi is being buffed in this patch as well. These are the notes I was reading. He needs a lot of gameplay improvement, but he also doesn't need to be garbage in the meantime. His Q's mana cost is being decreased, and his E's base damage is being increased at earlier ranks, but the ratio is being increased overall. So you'll be doing significantly more true damage in the middle of team fights, and will be able to get a lot more Q's in the early game before going Ryze is being nerfed in this patch, and this is just a small fix. Riot are changing it so that the stopwatch ult combo is no longer a thing. If Ryze uses Zhonya's Hourglass or a stopwatch, he will interrupt his ultimate and will not get the teleport. Riot originally had it in the game because they figured it was a very niche case, because Ryze isn't going to be building Zhonya's Hourglass first in every single game, but with the addition of stopwatch, it's way too strong, it makes him way too consistent, and very, very difficult to gank, so Riot have removed that interaction. Sejuani is being nerfed as well in this patch. She is too generalist in the similar fashion to Jarvan IV, where she just does too many things. So Riot have targeted her early mobility. Her Q's cooldown has been increased at early ranks to make her a little bit more exploitable in the early game. Along similar lines, Jarvan IV is being nerfed as well in this patch because of his generalist nature. He's too strong at too many things. His base armor is being reduced, so he's a little bit weaker at clearing, and he's definitely weaker at dueling as well in the early game, so the counterplay to Jarvan now is invade him early on. Victor is being buffed in this patch as well. His kit a while back was shifted to force him to stay near opponents for longer, but it also doesn't give him enough tools to succeed at doing this. So his Q's augment now increases the shield value by 60% when he uses power transfer, and his R cooldown has been decreased. So Victor will get more Chaos Storms throughout the game, and will be a little bit safer when trying to stick next to his opponents and keep them in the Giant Storm. Finally, Zoe is being nerfed in this patch as well. She has too few windows to exploit right now, so she is being changed to compensate. Her Q cooldown has been increased, so you have a few more windows to go in after her. Runes are being changed as well, specifically the Inspiration tree. Right now, Inspiration is all the rage in professional play, and with good reason. There are a lot of really, really strong runes in the tree, so Riot are changing it so that it's a little less good, and changing some of the interactions that are giving champions a lot of value in the early game. First Unsealed Spellbook is now only granting 15% reduced summoner cooldowns as opposed to 25%. The issue with it at the moment is that the rune is supposed to be about your ability to swap out summoner spells depending on the circumstances, and right now people are pretty much just taking it for the cooldown reduction even if they never swap summoners. Obviously that's not intended, so Riot have reduced it to compensate. Finally, Magical Footwear and Perfect Timing are now in the same category. That means that you have to choose between picking one or the other. Do you want free boots or do you want a stopwatch? But you cannot have both. So that will be a change, and that definitely nerfs the path overall. So that is actually going to be it for me today, guys. Go ahead and let me know which changes you're most excited for down in the comment section below. There were a lot of changes in this patch, so I highly suggest you read the patch notes, and I'm really hoping that these affect professional play as well. If you enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you really enjoy the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days like today as well. And if you're looking for more content from Grab the Lantern, you can check out my blog, linked down in the description below. I upload an article just about each and every single day for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.